Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. How many of you out there watched the debate last night? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? The debate between Sam from To The Lifeboats, my fellow XRP YouTuber, versus Cryptolord. Cryptolord, for those not in the know, I got his profile up here somewhere. There he is, Cryptolord, 127,000 followers on the Twitter, pretty well known in the crypto space. Once a proud XRP holder, even has an XRP tattoo, and now he has been, for over a year at this point, spreading the word very fervently that Ripple and XRP, it's just a purely a scam mechanism. XRP's a scam, Ripple is a scam company, and we're all idiots for purchasing XRP. And it's obviously complete bogus nonsense. And then, so he actually debated Sam from To The Lifeboats. And it was interesting, because one of the first things that, that Cryptolord said when this debate started was, everybody told me that I'm crazy for being willing to go on and debate Sam, and that I'm going to get my ass handed to me. And that's what happened. That's effectively what happened. Now, of course, Cryptolord is still firmly holding his position, but it's clear that his position is not being held based on logic. He just feels a particular way, and I don't think that he's coming to conclusions that make any damn sense. But I wanted to talk about this, especially considering there's new information today about Ripple furthering what they're doing in terms of transparency and making sure that they stay regulatory compliant, which you wouldn't see from a scam company typically, would you? Ah, Lord. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap the like button, I'd definitely appreciate it. And also consider subscribing to the Moon Lambo channel, because if you do, you will become happier, and you will become physically more attractive. Oh, well, those are some good selling points, Moon Lambo. I'm going to hop right on that. Yeah, you should. Now, this debate last night, I didn't know how long it was going to last, and the answer is almost 3 hours, and I watched the whole thing. It was like, sometimes I just want to like rip my hair out and yell to the BitLord, like, "Oh my God, you're saying such pure nonsense!" And Sam did a fine job. I'm not certainly wouldn't claim that I could have done any better. I don't know, but I suppose we all have, like, based on our knowledge and the way that we think through things, like certain talking points or thoughts that would float to the top of our heads. And I think that part of the way that I would have approached it, had it been me, and this is not a critique of Sam at all, but I would have pushed more to just insist that he defend how Ripple is a scam, given the level of transparency, which is second to none in the world of crypto. Like, I would have loved that, among other things. I mean, and by the way, this video is not going to be all-encompassing. Given it's a 3-hour conversation, my gosh, I could make, I'm not going to do it, I could make a 3-hour video about this, or longer. Like, I could seriously, if you were really going to break it down, it would just be absurd. So I'm not going to do that, but I want to go through some of the high-level stuff. But just the insistence that Ripple's a scam, and so that's why I just went to Merriam-Webster here. Let's make sure we're using the right terms, because sometimes when you're debating somebody, you could be using a term in a way that doesn't make any damn sense. And so here you go, for Merriam-Webster. Scam means to deceive and defraud someone. What does defraud mean? Well, I went there for Merriam-Webster also. Defraud means to deprive of something by deception or fraud. Oh, okay. So here's what happened. Some individuals created XRP before Ripple, the company, existed. At inception, XRP was worth $0. Then, Ripple, the company, was formed and was gifted a bunch of XRP. Now, Ripple has never sold any XRP to any retail speculators, just to be clear. In the early days, they attempted to do some airdrops, but they realized that was going to be problematic for a number of reasons once XRP actually hit exchanges and people were trading it, and it was just going to manipulate the market. And so they ended up deciding not to go that route. They canceled the airdrops after that, but in the very early days, you actually could have gotten a bunch of free XRP, right? And so from there, you know, it's incumbent upon those that invest to research what's going on, right? And the good news is Ripple is super duper transparent, right? And so as far as, you know, the tokenomics of this, it was made very clear. And by the way, I want to be clear, when we're talking about tokenomics, we're talking about the way in which you introduce whatever the cryptocurrency is into an ecosystem, into holders' hands, effectively. So with Bitcoin, it's through proof of work. Now, there's no mining with XRP, so you got to disperse it somehow, or else nobody's ever going to have it. Nothing's going to ever come of it, right? And so, as far as the tokenomics, it was made clear from the get-go how much XRP Ripple has. There was no intent to deceive. There was no intent to defraud. Super duper transparent. You also knew how much the founders of Ripple held. Complete transparency. So no intent to defraud, and hence it's not a scam. Right there. It's absolutely not a scam. And I can't believe we're even talking about this in 2020. It's freaking absurd. And so. Ultimately, what is I guess his driving point, which he just kept repeating, even though it was just a non sequitur, it just didn't make any sense, was that it's a scam because Ripple is dumping their token on the people, and again, they're only selling to strategic partners, and. It got to the point where Sam at some point was like, okay, so you don't like that effectively that Ripple is selling to strategic partners and that some of that through exchanges will ultimately make its way to retail investors. Like, how do you propose that Ripple should have gotten the XRP out into the hands? He had no answer, of course, right? And also consider this. If you create a cryptocurrency and you want to call this thing a scam, it's like, my gosh, the only reason that it's worth anything is because speculators decide it's worth something thanks to the entire ecosystem, which of course Ripple's at the core of in terms of being the most notable cheerleader. But you can't make people buy a cryptocurrency if they don't want the damn thing. And so it is based upon the hope of greater adoption. But that's how it is for pretty much any cryptocurrency. That's not unique to XRP. Sorry, Mr. Bitlord, it is not unique to XRP whatsoever. It's true. Pick your other coins. And you can talk about the way in which they're dispersed, but it doesn't matter. The people are investing for the same reason. I don't care if it's proof of work or if all are created at inception and there's an entity that, whoever the initiator was, in this case, the creators who then gifted it to Ripple and everybody else. I don't care. As long as it gets out into the ecosystem, whatever. Because eventually there will come a point where the last Bitcoin will have been mined, right? And so then, what's it matter? Once it's all in the ecosystem, who freaking cares? It does not matter. And so it's up to individuals to think, okay, well, here's a cryptocurrency. There's no promise of return. Obviously, I know I don't own in Ripple the company if I do this, but here it is. I'm going to go ahead and hope that based on adoption in general, that perhaps this might be worth more in the future. And my investment thesis is that utility matters and will win the day. So as long as XRP continues to actually be used in the real world, I think there's an opportunity for that. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not offering financial advice. So don't buy or sell because of me, but I'm happy to share my opinion. And that is my opinion. And so it doesn't make any sense. And so much of the stuff that Crypto Bitlord was talking about, it was just like, it was stuff that could have been like easily answered from this website, fudbingo.com, which is like, learn about XRP 101, like the beginner's class here. Like he seemed to know very little. And his way, and as far as what he thinks are reasonable tokenomics, off the charts crazy. Like it is. I'm not trying to be offensive because nothing against the guy personally. Seriously, I mean nothing personally against Crypto Bitlord. I just think he's wrong. But like the concepts that he have, it seems pretty far out there for me. As in, there's something fundamentally wrong about the creators of XRP before Ripple's even formed deciding here's the tokenomics, here's how it's going to work. You can choose to participate or not, but that's what it is. And they were very, very transparent about that. But somehow that transparency, given the tokenomics, somehow that's a scam. That is not logical. It makes no damn sense. So let's dig in a little bit further. Here's a thread from Crypto Outdoorsman who tagged me along with a few others in the XRP community. And he wrote to Crypto Bitlord and Sam from To the Lifeboats and Alex, who he looked from. I feel like I've seen him before. CEO and founder, Nuggets News AU. Anyway, he was on a tube for part of the debate, but it was really more so about Sam and Crypto Bitlord. But anyway, he was thanking the three of them for the discussion last night, and then he wrote, Bitlord, I heard your points last night, and I do get where you're coming from. From what I gathered, your issue is probably not with the XRP ledger. Is it mainly a distrust in Ripple, the company? And that's certainly a fair question, because if you have an issue with a central authority having that much XRP, then it's not for you, and that's fine. Don't invest. And he kept calling that centralization, and it's not. When we're talking about centralization, you're talking about from a technological perspective, is there a central authority that has certain permissions over a particular blockchain? The answer is no. Ripple controls 16% of validator nodes, and so what he was talking about is a concentration of wealth, and he was conflating that with having special permissions over the ledger. So that was completely incorrect. And absolutely, if you do have a serious problem with a central authority holding that much of a cryptocurrency, then this is not for you, and that's fine. I don't have those trust issues. And I knew that from the beginning, that they were holding this much, and that's fine. And if they burn me and they start acting poorly, I'm going to shout it from the rooftops on this channel, and I will exit. And it's fine. I doubt that's going to happen, because looking at their actions, they've been great stewards of the XRP ecosystem, and also it's in their best interest for the price of XRP to rise. And that's another thing that Sam said at one point. He's like, so when you purchase cryptocurrencies, is it with the hope? With the hope? I think he used the word hope that they'll increase in price, and he said yes. And so then Sam's like, okay, well, given that Ripple's the largest holder of XRP, might it be the case, don't you think it might be that Ripple would also want the price of XRP to be higher? And then, of course, he got really dodgy on that one. He didn't want to say, of course they'd want it to be higher, because his narrative is that Ripple is just dumping the tokens on the plebs out there, as they like to say. And everybody's getting bamboozled here. And so he didn't answer the question. He dodged. I was like, there you go, dodging. And he knew he was caught at that point. He knew it was disingenuous. If you were dealing with somebody that was going to be intellectually honest throughout the discourse, then he would have said something that, well, first of all, he would have answered it, and then he would have conceded the point. But he wasn't willing to give an inch on anything. And so that's the point when you know that you're communicating with somebody that's disingenuous. And that's what I don't enjoy doing. Like, I like having intellectual conversations with people that just want to get to the truth. And if somebody brings something up that maybe you hadn't considered, like, oh yeah, good point. But then if with over 1,000 people watching last night in the moment, he got caught. And everybody watching with an open mind could see, oh my God, come on, this guy. Obviously, he's dodging the question right here. And this is disingenuous, and then you trust that person less. So to me, it's always better to just be like a real person, and it's okay, because like people respect you more if you're just honest, and you're like, yeah, I hadn't considered that, I didn't know. Okay, good point. Or that's a good point. Let me think about it. I'm not sure yet. That's fine too. But man, to just not answer and then stick to your guns, you look like a child. It's not a good look on anyone, right? And then so he wrote here, I agree with you in that sense, it's hard for me to believe that Ripple has XRP holders' best interest in mind, as we are not their main focus, as opposed to their shareholders or investors or customers. However, they do have a huge bag, and driving the adoption would increase the price. Also their overall valuation, yielding more return for their investors and stakeholders in the long run. Exactly, and so they're obviously looking out for numero uno, and that's perfectly fine. But because here's what happens. In Ripple looking out for themselves, that means a healthy XRP ecosystem and rising price over time. That's in Ripple's best interest, and that benefits us directly. And so even if it's not because of us, even if their interests are in their company and the health of the XRP ecosystem, it's tantamount to the same thing. Like it really is. And then he also writes here, I could see them being extremely incentivized to build and drive the technology to take hold. It's just taking much longer than expected because banks are not nice. I'm going to censor that. Understand there are more pure community-driven projects out there. I'm just trying to understand why one wouldn't see the benefit in having a large private company with mass connections building on XRP Ledger and investing in other companies to do the same. Exactly. And so going back to the tokenomics, you can think about how miners secure the Bitcoin blockchain. And all of that money is just going to like power companies, effectively, right? And so in this case, if you want to look at Ripple, taking the place of the miner, which I actually don't, but if we want to do it just for the sake of argument, at least that money that is going to Ripple has been verifiably reinvested with a crazy amount of money. And you can think about Ripple's Spring Initiative, and as a result, you've got Coil funded, which is actually functional today. And there's all sorts of examples which Sam brought up in the debate last night. And that's a good thing. You don't get that without an entity like Ripple. And that's why I like what Galvatron calls Ripple. He calls them a benevolent whale. And I think that is the perfect way to label Ripple. Because they are a whale. They got a ton of XRP. Okay, this is not some sort of new news. This is not a problem from my perspective. And again, like I said, if it's a problem for you, then this is not the project for you. Super duper. Not a big deal. Take your trust issue somewhere else, like to the Bitcoin blockchain. There you go. That's fine. There's a bunch of anarchists over there. You'll have a killer time. And then he wrote, they do use their XRP holdings as a bit of a war chest, but I think it's mainly to provide liquidity and lay the groundwork for what the future may hold. I totally get the problem with all the hypey moon boys, but from an investment perspective, I think it has a great speculatory upside. And if it does amass real-world adoption, it could be massive. In the meantime, trusting Ripple sucks balls. That's what he wrote. To me, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't, because like I knew this from the get-go, and I knew that if I didn't have trust in this particular authority, this particular business, then I shouldn't be. This is my opinion. Then I felt like I shouldn't be investing in XRP. But I don't have such trust issues. But again, if they prove that they are not trustworthy, I'll jump ship. You know, but so it's all about how are people treating you in real life, in real time. Like, what are they doing? Whether it's your family, your friends, a business, whatever it is. And if everything's going fine in the moment, cool. Keep treading forward, right? And if not, then you pivot. And if I have to pivot and sell on my XRP and say this sucks, I will shout it from the rooftops. But that's not happening. I am Mr. XRP Bull for a reason. There's real world adoption, and Ripple, which makes logical sense, is doing everything they can to support a healthy XRP ecosystem. And then he wrote, just interested in thoughts. And then tagged me. So anyway, Crypto Outdoorsman, great thread, and thank you for tagging me. And it was fun to kind of run through this. And it looks like I'm on the... I really seem to align with your opinions on this almost 100%. And so, air high five. All right. Then check this out. Crypto Bitlord continuing the nonsense today. There's a whale alert tweet showing that about 500 million XRP was transferred from Chris Larson, who of course is a co-founder of Ripple, to an unknown wallet. And so Crypto Bitlord retweeted that and wrote, watch the dev exit scam live. So he's talking about the developer exit scam live. So here it is, as in, they're just, Chris Larson, here he is just dumping blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then Crypto Bitlord wrote, it took me one debate with Sam from To the Lifeboats, and I've already shaken the top dogs. That's cocky. No, that is not what happened. And then he wrote, through this custodian, Chris can sell a Ripple without having to move to an exchange. This is what someone would do if they want to sell discreetly by moving it here. He has unlocked the liquidity. And so he didn't know, like when he tweeted this out, it was just like, it's just, I see this, emotion, tweet, dev scam exit. Okay, gotcha. But what is it actually? Well, I think I've got it somewhere around, where is it? Maybe here? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Galgatron responded to Crypto Bitlord's tweet about watch the dev exit scam live and wrote, watch Crypto Bitjoke eat crow once again. And that was a retweet in and of itself of this from Chris Larson, co-founder of Ripple, who wrote, as some of you may have noticed, I moved an XRP wallet to NYDIG, N-Y-D-I-G. Here, I'll just pull this up. There you go. I've known the founders for a while and am impressed by their security and top-notch institutional standards. This is truly Custody 2.0. Check them out at NYDIG. And so there you go. And the XRP ledger is public, so you can see the flows. So if this ends up on an exchange, you can ultimately track where all this ends up heading, right? Just a little investigative work. And so he didn't know what he was talking about, but he was like, Crypto Bitlord, he's like, okay, here's more dumping, dump. Okay, right. And of course, the only problem is it's complete nonsense because he was just moving it for security purposes, right? And then he just made up the claim. You could see that in the other tweet over here somewhere that he's just doing it so that they can sell discreetly. It's a public ledger, Crypto Bitlord. There is no discreetly. Like, what the? This is completely absurd. This is no. And so he's just making stuff up, and it couldn't be more clear. Like, and I know that I'm so glad I have this platform because I'm able to point this stuff out so that people don't fall for this type of stuff. This is what's happening, and hopefully some of you would have just like known that anyway. But my gosh, it's ridiculous. And then you have this, and this is in the news today. Ripple seeking to enhance due diligence of its XRP2 subsidiary. So XRP2 LLC, that is a registered money services business that Ripple owns. That they use to sell their XRP when they do it, and they only sell to strategic partners. And this whole article is about them looking to hire a due diligence specialist to focus on maintaining regulatory compliance. The new hire will report to the company's senior due diligence manager, Vanessa Zhang, who landed her job in early 2020. So there you go. Scam company Ripple looking to hire somebody to work with in terms of due diligence in the selling of XRP through its registered money services business. There you go. Scam company Ripple. Look at these guys trying to maintain regulatory compliance while scamming everybody. It's complete nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. And I could go on. So, like, I'm probably, like, this video is going longer than most of mine, so I'm going to have to cut this off here. I could go on and on and on and on. So I was just letting whatever flow to the top of my mind, but just kind of come out in the video. But, oh my gosh, the whole time if I could just sit down with this crypto Bitlord guy. And again, nothing against him. He seems like a perfectly nice guy, but he could not be more incorrect. He could not be more illogical. At this point, I think that he's like made it such a platform that he just wants to save face, and to do that, I don't think he'd ever admit that he's wrong. I just, that's what it comes up. And the reason I say that is I see this, I've got 37 years of wisdom. When people behave like this, it doesn't matter how much evidence you show them. They think that they're saving face by continuing to deny, but the thing is, when there are observers watching, they end up actually looking like a fool, and they don't know it, which is why I always say, be a real, genuine person, and when you're wrong, just admit you're wrong, and then people like you more. Like, it actually is difficult for humans to do that and admit they're wrong, I get that, but do it, and people will like you more, all right? And plus, who doesn't want to be genuine? Like, I wouldn't want to live a life where I'm not being genuine. Like, that's to me, that's no way to live. Like, that would not be fun. I just want to believe as many true things as possible, and I'm a human, and I'm going to get stuff wrong too, but I want people to point it out when I get something wrong so that I can stop being wrong. That sounds like a better solution. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think below. I had a blast watching that thing last night, though. And if there are any other specific parts of this that you guys want me to break down or share my opinion on, let me know. And I'd love to hear what you have to say too, so please light up the comment section. Would love to continue the conversation on this, because there's a lot said, and I barely scratched the surface, given that that debate was almost 3 hours. But I got to cut off here. This is already too long. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!